Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I will be doing your September 2020 monthly reading. It's all about money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the readings this month, I will be using my white tarot deck. For clarifiers, I will use my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck, as I always do. And then, Sagittarius, I will close out your reading with a Magical Messages from the Fairies Oracle card. I haven't used that Oracle deck in a while. And I don't know, it just looked like it was going to be right for September. If this is your first time catching one of my videos, I do invite you to subscribe, because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. And I think that's it. So let's go ahead and dive right into your reading, Sagittarius. I already see that September is going to start off emotionally good for you. This is really good. So let's get into it. What do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of September 2020? Okay. All right, so like I said, it looks like emotionally things are going to start off really good, really strong, Sagittarius. And it looks like, too, you're going to be kind of processing some new information. Now, this is going to be really good because, you know, maybe there were some things you were not aware of recently, and now things are starting to come together for you and make sense. I say that because I see the Moon in the reverse and also the Judgment card in reverse. But we also have this Five of Swords in reverse. But things are going to look very good on the work front. King of Wands and the Chariot in the upright position. So, like I said, you're going to be feeling really strong emotionally. You're also going to be feeling, like I said, a lot more clear. You're going to have a lot more clarity as it relates to money decisions. Now, this could be just because we're starting to get clear about the direction things are headed for us economically as it relates to our society, to our civilization, to the world as a whole. But also, I think you're starting to kind of make some connections with where you are in your financial life and how it relates to the bigger picture. You know, how it relates to work, how it relates to our global economy. Also, you're just starting to make some decisions. You're starting to see that you have to act now, Sagittarius, in order to be really, really secure and really, really solid, not only for the near future, but also for the distant future. Now, we have the Five of Swords here in the reverse. This tells me that, you know, some things have been rocky as it relates to communication, as it relates to conversations that you've had with other people. But those, you know, issues, those bumps are starting to smooth themselves out. Now, this is really good, again, because it helps you make really good decisions. You can communicate better with the people around you, you know, either with your partner, your spouse, your children, your family. Also, professionally, your professional relationships are really coming together in a nice way, in that it benefits you, it nurtures you, it gives you new ideas, it gives you probably a new perspective as it relates to how you're going to make money, how you're going to make these moves, you know, probably within the next quarter, within the next few months. Also, you just really start to network in a way that's very positive, very prosperous, and you really start making these connections that maybe they were there all along, but you just never noticed them, or you never took advantage of it, or maybe you just weren't ready. Now, the Judgment card in the reverse, this is probably the only card that I would say would be something that we need to be, quote, concerned about. The Judgment card talks about some decisions being made that you have no input and no control over, and they affect you, though. They affect you very much. And I think all of us are in this boat because, you know, decisions are being made by our president, decisions are being made by our, you know, our local politicians, you know, our governors. We're getting ready for a huge election year. So a lot of decisions are being made, and they may not necessarily be the best decisions for us, but we're going to have to deal with it. And I feel like this is probably a card that's telling us we're going to have to make some accommodations. We're going to have to work within the confines of what we can do, but at the same time, we have to prepare. You know, we're going to have to do our best to prepare some way, shape, or form. Now, the King of Wands is a very good card. This means that things are looking up as it relates to work. If you're not an employee, if you're self-employed, if you're a business owner, this is still very good because it means that things are starting to, things are just really starting to come together in a good way. If you are an employee, this means that higher ups, supervisors, managers, owners, executives, whatever the case may be, are really paying attention to you and the work you're doing. You're definitely on the radar for some type of positive, beneficial change. If you're a business owner, this means that you've really got a solid grasp of what's going on in all aspects of your business. If you don't, you will be very soon. You're going to have a really good system in place. You're also going to have, I keep getting the word patterns. Whatever you're doing, whatever type of pattern that you have in place, it's going to work, okay? Finally, we have the moon in reverse. Very good. This means, again, you're no longer in the dark about something. You definitely get some solid answers that you can use right away. The chariot means that once things start happening, once things start kind of coming together, they're going to move quickly. Also, you may have to notice, or you may notice that things start happening simultaneously. You know, not only is this project taking off, but you have this project taking off. Not only is this thing working, but this thing is starting to work too. And so you kind of are going to have to be multitasking in a way, but it's going to be all good. You know, you're going to definitely feel like, wow, you know, things are starting to really get some traction here, and you can definitely move forward in a really, really good way that makes you feel good, and it's also bringing in some money. It's creating some financial stability where maybe it just wasn't there. So your first week of September, Sagittarius, is looking really, really good. You know, it won't be anything monumental, but you're definitely going to be making some positive strides. Okay, so what else do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius? As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of September 2020. What do we need to know for Sagittarius? Wow, look at that. All right, Sagittarius, so you're definitely going to be making some plans for the future. Good plans. Things are probably going to be changing for you very drastically. The nice thing is that things are going to be changing slowly. There's going to be no surprises where things just kind of come out of nowhere and you're like, whoa, you know, where did that come from? How did that happen? That's not going to be the case. You're definitely going to be reconsidering some choices and some plans for the future. And we already talked about that kind of in that first week of September, and you're pretty much right there. You're pretty much in your head a lot, Sagittarius, you know, because you're definitely thinking, maybe you're overthinking, maybe you're analyzing, overanalyzing, being critical, maybe overly critical about some decisions that are coming your way. The decisions that are happening are definitely going to affect all aspects of your life. It's going to be some life-changing, transforming changes as it relates to your money, as it relates to your world, as it relates to your life and your immediate environment. The Death card in the reverse, again, talks about changes happening very, very slowly, but at the same time, the changes could be a little uncomfortable. You know, you're going to have to, like we said, make some accommodations, make some compensations in other areas of your life in order to kind of roll with these changes that are going to be happening. Again, this is probably something more work and money related, but it's definitely going to have an impact on other areas of your life. We have the Star card, so when all is said and done, things are definitely going to work out for the better. This is probably one of the most positive cards in the deck. I talk about this card a lot because this is one of my favorite cards. This is also the card of celebrity and being seen. If you are an entertainer or someone who works in media or, you know, in that industry, this is a card of you being the star. Now, if you're not in that particular field of work, this is you being the rising star in your own life. It's also the card of epic health. You know, if you're going through some health challenges, this card showing up talks about you're going to overcome those challenges. You're going to heal. Your energy is going to be restored. You're also going to have a lot of mental relief from anxiety, stress, depression even. So this is a very good card because it talks about you having the full capacity to really grow and to really just benefit from things that are happening around you. Now again, it doesn't mean everything's going to go perfectly. Things are going to be uncomfortable. But like I said, when all is said and done, you're going to come out on top, probably even better than where you were before. Next, we have the Five of Pentacles, and then we have the Ace of Wands. This is really good, but let's talk about this Five of Pentacles. Now, pay attention to the details of your money, Sagittarius. Pay attention to little leaks in the ship, I like to call it. Watch your spending, because sometimes this card shows up when there's some kind of carelessness about your money. Now, it doesn't mean that you're, you know, just flittering it away, but maybe you are, or maybe someone around you is, and it's affecting you. Are your kids being irresponsible? Is your spouse, you know, hiding purchases or not being honest about where the money is going? This card also, too, talks about you just sometimes not paying attention to your own budget. You know, are you tracking your expenses? Are you keeping track of your savings? Are you really paying attention to the numbers? This is something you really have to do. And I apologize for me sounding a little stuffed. I am dealing with allergies, so please forgive the stuffiness. But anyway, so, you know, Sagittarius, just really pay attention to that. Really, really try to be more, I guess responsible is the only word I can come up with. More, you know, paying attention to the details of your money, because sometimes those things happen little by little. You know, things happen, it's not like one big chunk of money is missing, but it's a consistent drip of money dripping away, and that's something we have to pay attention to. All right, we have the Ace of Wands here. The Ace of Wands, another good card. This is definitely the start of a new project, and it's going to be taking off. It's falling onto that Chariot card. Now, the Chariot card, we talked about that. You know, things happening quickly, things happening simultaneously. This Ace of Wands is a card that really talks about growth. It talks about expansion. It talks about progress. If you are working on a project or a side gig or a side hustle, moving into a new business, things are definitely going to start growing, especially as we move into that second week of September. So get ready, Sagittarius, because I have a feeling that this is going to be somewhat of a little bit of a surprise, because, you know, while you were, you know, hoping that things would happen, you weren't expecting things to happen so quickly. This is also good because this means it's going to be profitable. You know, you'll either break even, so you won't take a loss, or you'll actually make money, which is very exciting. All right, so let's go ahead and see what else is showing up for my beautiful Sagittarius. Oops. All right, what do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius? as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. Wow. For the month of September 2020. Okay. All right, Sagittarius, we got some repeaters here, which means this is something we need to pay attention to. Five of Swords, we saw him here. Chariot, we saw him here. And it's interesting that not only are those cards repeaters, but they showed up in the same position. This showed up in the reverse twice. This showed up in the upright position twice. Okay, so let's start with the Eight of Pentacles. You're going to be busy as we hit the second half of September. Work is really going to increase. You're going to be taking on a heavy load. You're definitely going to be busy. You're going to be busy. You are going to be busy, Sagittarius. Get ready for that. This is good because not only are you really, really busy, but that means that there's more opportunity to make some more money. This could be in the form of overtime. It could just be in the form of, a huge influx of orders or something like that, a huge wave of customers. Something, along those lines is definitely going to be keeping you busy, but also it's going to be a good time for you to be really kind of tapping into that, flow of income, that flow of revenue coming in. Next, we have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords in reverse. Again, this is all about that communication. This is about you really working through some issues, communicating with other people, especially in the professional setting. Now, sometimes we have conversations and they either kind of get misinterpreted or misunderstood, or sometimes people just don't hear us, or they hear us through their own filter. And I think that's something that you were dealing with here, Sagittarius. You were dealing with someone who had selective hearing, so to speak. That issue gets resolved, it gets cleared up, with all good intentions. Maybe you may not exactly get the perfect outcome, but at least you have a clear understanding with whatever this situation may be. So just stay open and try not to judge anybody is having an evil intent. I think it's just more a case of someone not understanding, misunderstanding, or being selective in what they hear. Now, we also have the Eight of Cups here. This is you making the decision to stay with something. You're not quite ready to walk away. I'm feeling like this is something work-related, something in the professional sense, where you're just not ready to leave a job, or maybe you're just not ready to leave a situation just yet. The time will come. However, September is not the right timing for you. And you don't want to have any regrets. You don't want to act hastily on anything either. You don't want to be irrational in your actions or in your decisions. So you're really taking the time to reconsider how you are going to exit a situation. And I think that's very wise. Now, we also have the Chariot here. Remember, these two cards are cards of speed and taking action quickly. The Chariot, we saw him here, which means things are going to start happening fast. They're going to continue progressing at a very rapid rate. Very, very rapid, because we have the Knight of Swords here. Now, the Knight of Swords is a very swift-moving energy. The Knight of Swords talks about things rushing in, and at the same time, sometimes things just rush out, and then things happen very, very quickly, almost to the point where you're feeling a little bit shaken or overwhelmed because things are happening so quickly, but it's in a good way because this guy is in the upright position. So again, get ready, try to prepare as best you can because things will start happening fast, especially as we move into that second half of September. Finally, we have the Six of Cups here. The Six of Cups in the reverse talks about something or someone showing up from your past. It may not necessarily be pleasant, but it's something that you have kind of gotten over. I'm feeling like this could be a person maybe showing up. However, because it landed on the Ace of Wands, I have a feeling this is going to be something positive when all is said and done. Maybe you had a bad exchange with someone and then the person shows back up, but you decide to kind of work it out. It could also be maybe something that was not maybe handled in the right way, and now you kind of have another chance to maybe talk things out or maybe do something differently that you did not do before, okay? But this is definitely something from the past showing up again. It probably wasn't an ideal or a good, situation. But because it's showing up again, it's allowing you to kind of fix whatever the problem or whatever the issue was. Okay, so don't worry about it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's just something more to be aware of, is what I'm getting intuitively. All right, so let's see what else is showing up for my Sagittarius. What do we need to know as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for Sagittarius for September 2020? All right, Sagittarius. Well, as we close out September, you are going to have to be making a lot of financial decisions. I can see that very clearly with these cards here, especially the King of Pentacles. In the reverse, talks about financial literacy, financial education, also investments, also just money decisions, big money decisions that you probably were not expecting to make, or you're being put in a position to make those decisions for someone else. Okay, it could be maybe a family member, maybe, something work related, especially if you're dealing with personnel, HR, other people. There's some big financial decisions that you're going to have to make towards the end of the month. Now, this is something that you really have to take your time with, okay, because this is in the reverse position. That's telling me that this is something that's probably not an ideal situation. Okay, it's probably something where you weren't expecting to have to make these decisions again. I'm feeling like it's something related to family, or it could be something related to staff or personnel or something like that. So really take your time, really think through it, because basically you're responsible for someone else's livelihood in some way indirectly. Now, excuse my stuffiness. The other thing too is this is also a card to really let you know that you have to pay attention to all of the information. Okay, don't skim or skip over anything. Really dive in deep to what is available for you to study. Okay. Next we have the Four of Swords. Now this is a card of retreat, also kind of taking a break, stepping back. As we close out September, you probably will find yourself in that situation, Sagittarius, where you will have to step back for a little bit just to kind of give yourself more clarity, give yourself space to make a decision, also to really kind of figure things out. Now we also have the Page of Cups here. The Page of Cups is news and information coming through. Because this is in the reverse, I'm feeling like this could be something, maybe something surprising. I'm not feeling like it's bad news. I'm feeling like this is just unexpected news. And I feel that way because, again, it's on the Eight of Cups in the reverse. And then we've got this Chariot here where things are happening quickly. So I do really feel like this is something where it's like, whoa, it's like unexpected. It's like, oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. Let's go ahead and deal with it. It's that type of thing. It's not anything heavy or catastrophic. It's just like some unexpected news showing up towards the end of the month. Finally, we have the Three of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles talks about you doing group projects. Also, it's a card about you being recognized and being seen for the work you do. Now, the thing is like people are going to be reaching out to you, Sagittarius, wanting to work with you. However, you're going to have your hands very, very full. There's going to be some good opportunities. There may even be some good people showing up for you, but you can only do so much. You can only do what you can do. You are only one person. This talks about too where, it's like you want to get all this money, but you can only do so much to get it. Okay. So, it's one of those things where you just have to make a decision, and then you just kind of have to really hope and pray for the best, because you're going to have so many things showing up and you can only do one or two, and you're going to have to really feel that those are the one or two things that are going to, give you the most payoff, not only financially, but also in every other area of your life. You don't want to be stressed, spreading yourself too thin and trying to move in so many different directions. Okay, so just pay attention to that. So overall, Sagittarius, September is going to be a very busy month for you. It's going to be a very thoughtful month is what I'm getting here, where you're making decisions, you're taking action, you're kind of going through some things, and then there's just a lot of growth here as well. I see that very clearly with this card, and then also the Ace of Cups. So let's go ahead and close out your reading, Sagittarius, with a magical message from the fairies oracle card. All right, this one says walk away. Interesting. Okay, leave the unhealthy situation and enjoy the new doors that are open as a result. All right. Now, this could apply to several areas in your reading. We talked about taking a step back here. We talked about reconsidering leaving something right here. We also talked about here something or someone from the past showing up. Could have been an unhealthy situation, but definitely new doors are going to open up as a result. So it's going to be your call, Sagittarius. It's definitely going to be something that you have to consider. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. And I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. We'll definitely do it again next month.